Good evening and welcome to the Reel McCoy. With me, always my hetero life mate, all my feelings. Good evening to
Good
you,
evening,
sir.
buddy.
And Jen, I'll just in a minute, I'll address you. What is the Reel McCoy? Real McCoy is your weekly podcast where we discuss movies, we geek out on them, and we nerd out. We discuss them, we dissect them, and we break it down just for our own goddamn pleasure. We send you every single week to go watch a movie, come back to us, and we'll do that with you. Today, a lovely guest, the Pop-Tart queen herself, Jersey girl Jen. How are you, Jen?
Good. Thanks
good?
for having me.
Awesome. So before we continue with everything, please go to my Twitter and at me at Mephisto if you like to have any suggestions. Follow me on Instagram at Mephisto79 as well. Or if you want to be discreet or don't even have social media at all, Mephisto79 at gmail.com, or just leave comments on the comment section down below. Now you can find JerseyGirlJenni on her Twitch discussing everything to do with everything. I'm sorry I haven't watched your Twitch, Jen.
That's okay. It's just a bullshit show.
No, just tell me what do you typically do on your channel?
Well, I always talk about my Pop-Tarts, and we just literally shoot the shit. It's basically like, and I play music off a little speaker. It's like hanging out in your basement, listening to music, talking about whatever's going on, and making fun of people.
Cool. Awesome. Love it. I really do. All right. So last week, we started off December, which is the holiday month, but we are concentrating on Christmas movies. Last week, we did a Christmas Vacation with Chevy Chase and Beverly D'Angelo, and we told you to go and watch Scrooged with Bill Murray, a movie that I personally was wanting to watch for a very long time because I watched it a long time ago. I think the last time I watched it, I actually watched it on proper VHS.
Oh, wow.
So, Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Scrooge, please, before we dig into the story, oh my feelings, please give us your behind the scenes stuff.
So behind the scenes stuff, some very, very interesting facts is this movie had a $32 million budget. Bill Murray was paid $6 million to play Frank. This is
And
one of many, many issues that we're going to have with Bill Murray.
yes.
So now, Bill Murray actually read over the original script. He not only demanded that the romantic side story between him and Claire, was elongated and made more of a focus of the film. He not only downplayed the family side of the film, he insisted that in the final scene, when Frank actually does his full rant, his denouement of who he was as a character before, like his personality, like how he was this awful, terrible human being and how he became this new evolved person.
Mm-hmm.
That was recorded as Murray doing a riff off of the notes that he was given from Donner, the director, and doing the polar opposite. Donner wanted him to play it to ham it up, to make it as fun and energetic. Bill Murray decided to play it a little bit dour at the end and more sentimental, more heart-wrenching. So you get that really good holiday feels out of it. Granted, I agree with Murray's decision because overall I think it made more of a lasting impact. But you can see that Murray was, again, being kind of an asshole again and saying, no, I'm doing it my way. Here is how it is.
Now, about him commanding that salary,
Mhm.
it was more than the salary of the director,
Yep.
the two writers,
Yep.
and one of the producers put together.
Combined.
Yes, combined. And also, we can discuss the whole Carol Kane thing and the physical comedy maybe a little bit later. Okay.
I was going to get to that when we get to the
Okay.
ghost portion.
But Jen,
I was say,
Oh.
well, let me get to the rest of this.
Yeah. Okay.
Real quick. Say a lot of the film was actually cut. Overall, it's estimated that only 40% of the actual screenplay that was written was actually used for the film. That's
And-
how much of the film was cut.
Yeah, and changed and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Murray at one point in time says this was one of the most miserable experiences of his entire film career.
Love it.
Yeah.
On the other hand, Donner was quoted saying, well, I think Bill and I got along, but you don't direct Murray. You just have to pull him back.
I can see that.
That's amazing. I've heard that too. I was doing a little bit of research. I try to not do a lot of research. I just try to like watch the movie and like watch it critically to do the podcast. I remembered a lot of things wrong. And in my summation of the movie, you will get to hear my full opinion of it. Jen, please give us like.
Well, I was going to say,
wait. Have you watched it this week?
I watched it last night, and it was interesting because the driver, he was the singer for New York Dolls.
Yes, he was.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Buster? What's his face?
I don't remember.
His name is like Buster Pinkheart, something like that. Is like he has a stage name or something like that.
Yeah, and then the other guy was Bobcat. The comedian.
Bobcat Goldthwait.
Yeah, that was him, which I thought was kind of cool. But it's funny because I'm not big on A Christmas Carol because I think it's like fucking depressing, and it's Christmas time and it's supposed to be happy. Mm-hmm. So watching this was great because it made it funny.
Yeah.
We made it funny. I always think it's such a depressing show, but this made it really funny. And it was, but like you said, I could see Bill Murray just being like, let me do my own shit, Yeah.
It's
it's
one of those things. I'm sorry. It's one of those things where with certain actors, they don't really act. or they don't really do the part, they do themselves. And we went over this last week and a week before that and a week before that. It's Bill Murray being Bill Murray in a Bill Murray movie.
Where
Yeah.
again, it's like with Chevy Chase being Chevy Chase in a Chevy Chase movie, or Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds in a Ryan Reynolds movie. Because he plays essentially the same character, just with slightly different affectations. And that's
like a lot of those guys who started out at SNL, I think, are like that. Like a lot of those guys kind of started out there.
That's very true. The other thing that I was going to add was that Sam Kinison was originally supposed to be cast as the Ghost of Christmas Past.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe he would have nailed it.
That would have been hilarious.
The only problem with this, and this is like a real Bill Murray thing. First of all, he puts his brother, like I think he's his younger brother, but
his
older.
younger brother and his father are in this.
Not father.
Both of his brothers.
His 2 brothers are in this.
Yeah, I'm sorry. His older brother plays his father later in the movie.
Yeah. And the cab driver, that you mentioned, he was only that, and Sam Kinison got pushed away because he's a real good friend with Bill Murray.
Yeah.
So
hilarious.
we could have had the Sam Kinison being Sam Kinison.
That would have just boom. That would have just added so much.
Especially because it's what they did with it. What they went with, we're gonna touch upon that scene, but when they went to see his past with the dog, it could have been
with Freddy the dog. Yeah, him going, the bone.
Yeah.
All right, let's go over to the first scene just to establish Frank Cross. So Frank Cross is a high-powered. Is he the CEO of the network? Right.
He's the president of the network, and I think he's the
CEO, and the president is just above him. I think. It doesn't matter. He has bosses.
Opposite. Yeah.
So they show him like these commercial. It literally starts with a commercial within the movie, which is kind of weird to start a movie off. But it's Lee Majors saving Santa and all the elves.
And I love
it made me laugh so hard.
Is starring as himself, Lee Majors, in a Lee Majors movie.
Yeah.
What is the movie called? The Night the Reindeer Died. He pulls out a minigun. Come on.
Dude, this is like a second before the Predator. Or a second. No, it's after. This is 88.
This is after the Predator. That's the reason why the minigun was used. Yeah, that's the reason why the minigun was used, Meth.
Yeah, so we literally have like commercials and all that stuff for Scrooged. Or the network, I think it's IBC, right?
Right.
It's IBC, and they show them all the
and
commercials.
You'll love it. You'll love it.
And the thing that made me laugh so hard in this one is Frank Cross. He wants explosions. He wants destruction. I was like, oh, did Michael Bay see this movie, or what the fuck is going on?
Right.
Why is Michael Bay here? And like, okay. So, and of course, Bobcat, he's like, oh, we need to be nice and everything. Elliot, yeah. Elliot, we need to be nice and everything. It's like, oh, you're fired. It basically is. They leave the
Elliot asked him, goes, well, I don't know if we can ever show that commercial because, quite frankly, it seems more like a Manson family Christmas than an actual Christmas Carol.
Yeah, there.
Right
there.
Then what Murray says, that line, the delivery of it is so perfect as its own inside joke, where it's like, okay, I get it, and then him calling out the fact that he's angry of the fact that his joke was rebuked and no one recognized it. He goes, well, yeah, I know, we could pull it off the air because we don't want to scare the Dickens out of them.
That's funny.
Get it, Dickens? I know what gets me around here.
Brilliant. So what he does is he just sends a code 9, to evict the person, and they literally just throw him out. And please tell me, is it allowed to fire someone right before Christmas Eve?
Yeah.
You US based people.
You have to be kind of shitty to do it.
Yeah, you have to be an absolute shithead, but also if you're at what they call Jen, you can back me up an at work state or an at will state,
Right.
where basically like you can get fired for any reason whatsoever. They just have to provide you with some kind of moderately valid reason to fire you.
Touch a girl on a shoulder and you can lose your job.
Yep.
Yeah. Really.
If they want to get rid of you,
laws
they can
around here.
Oh yeah, they can. But normally people give 2 weeks notice if they're going to leave. But it's easy to burn your bridges.
Yeah. I get
Yeah.
it. Well, it's easy to burn the bridges here, but
it doesn't take much to get fired in America. It doesn't take
No.
much.
So another thing to set up Cross's character is also his brother came to him to like talk to him and invite him to the family dinner, and he gets basically rebuked. And then of course you see him leave and literally takes over someone's cab, and I don't know.
Yeah.
This is New York, supposedly. Is it New York or Chicago? I don't know.
No, this is Chicago.
That's Chicago.
No, never mind. No, it actually never mind. I'm wrong. I'm thinking of I was thinking of Christmas Vacation again. That's Chicago. This is New York.
Okay, so this lady should have like killed him if it was real life. There's no way. There's no way.
I'd be more scared to do that in Jersey than I would in New York.
Really?
Oh, I would never do that in Jersey. Are you kidding me? I get punched in the face.
New York gets a bad vibe because I just think we're fast and like this, but I've never met anybody who's, maybe because I'm on that same East Coast level, where it's that I haven't felt, but it's easy. I've gotten in a cab by accident and I haven't pushed anybody the way, but if you're like, go, go, go. And well, now it's Uber, but it's very easy to slip in and not see somebody. Then you might get killed. Then you might get killed.
This one was way on purpose. Just to show he's like a shithead.
Yeah.
She would have not have stood for that shit. Could you imagine?
Oh, no.
Me? Holy fuck.
I would have seen you diving actually into the window, like, no.
No way. It's even by me just driving. I'm surprised I haven't killed anybody. It's just people are nuts.
So
I was gonna say real quick on a note that happened a little bit before that when Frank was talking to his assistant about all of the gifts that he was supposed to be giving out. Say, well, give him a towel, give him a VHS recorder, give him a towel, give him a VHS, give him a towel.
Yeah.
Because he's a cheap piece of shit. That's his character.
The towel.
Yeah. And of course, we start to get into the like meta within the meta of this. I think this whole movie has basically invented the whole idea of the meta, or at least it probably hasn't, but it's a real good a modern take on meta, which is we're doing a Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, because that's Scrooge, but also they're producing a Christmas Carol with like
the actual Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens.
When he did the towel, it just reminded me of Christmas Vacation with that boss, and he did the fruit of the year or fruit of the month.
Oh, the jam, yes, Jelly Club, exactly. Yep.
It's on the same level, and it's the weirdest part is it's actually Bill Murray's brother doing it in another movie, being Bill Murray in another. It's basically the same deal,
right?
It's weird, but it happens. So we get to have this guy now. Is it actual? What's his name? Forsythe?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Is it really him under all that makeup?
Yep.
Because for a minute there, I thought it's like a stunt guy, but they overdubbed him.
That's him.
Is it actually Blake from Dynasty under all that or not?
Oh,
yes, it is.
Did I just struck a nerve with Jen right now?
So funny.
It is. It's Blake from Dynasty. At that point, this is
Hysterical.
1988. This is
Yep.
Blake
Yeah,
from
I would never
from
guess that
Dynasty.
in a million years.
Yeah. So he visits him to give him like the old ghost from the past to
Right.
start off the whole past, present, future type deal, which is in the
Oh,
Christmas
Hayward, yeah,
Carol.
which like yeah.
And of course, Bill
He
Murray.
shoots him how many times? And he goes, "Hey, listen, you can shoot at me all you want. Just make sure just be careful of the Bacardi, okay?"
Yeah. and then he drinks it, and of course the gag is like the old gag. Oh, the dead guy drinks everything because he's filled with hole, and everything just spills out. It's like, yeah, there's certain gags
That
where
you see, I had the money, and women loved me. Goes, Bill Murray. Frank's laugh goes, well, technically, they loved you because you paid for them. Same difference.
of course. So he tells him we're gonna get that, and of course Bill is all about, like, Frank Cross is all about, oh, I'm hallucinating, I don't know this, I don't know that, and he brushes it off basically.
Right.
And we move forward. Oh yeah, and we get to see him calling Claire and getting to her message box because she's not home. And why is he calling Claire? Because the guy mentioned it for a second, right?
Right.
And
well, that and also inherently, if you look at it as an allegory story, it's she has always been his kind of sense of stability, the one thing that she could rely on in his life, that was perfectly stable, that actually kept him grounded. And as soon as he lost her, as we see later, he kind of went whoop.
Yeah.
Way off the deep end.
way off the deep end. But he's he this is where he starts to get the feels. The feels are coming back.
Yeah.
It's very gradual because it becomes more and more intense as the past, the present, and the future come into play in the real-time story. Yes.
They dried up some mint and made some mint tea. Does
They
that
dried
sound
up some
familiar?
mint and they made mint tea.
Yeah,
Jen,
Okay.
that'd be Mrs. Meth.
I did it last week.
Hold on, I'll be right
I
back. in
love
one-
you too. We're in the podcast.
Hi guys.
Hi, Mrs. Meth.
Hi, Mrs. Meth. Bye, Mrs. Meth.
No, just
She's like,
Jen said she had to go grab something real quick.
yeah, no worries. So we are moving on to, oh yeah, I like this part because it sets up a lot of hilarity. And by the way, yes, you can technically see a lot of nipples in that one. Sir, comment. I like this joke because the joke is that's the censor, of course. That
Yes,
this lady
so
is the censor.
Yes,
She
I
comes
know,
in.
but the people want to see nipples.
Yeah. And Frank is like, we want to see nipples. Here, look at these two stagehands. And these people like to see nipples. And one of the guys, he's like, yeah, you can barely see them at all.
Right.
And that's the whole gag because you can definitely see them. Oh, well, at least in, like, I know there are some cuts that are different from other cuts. In mine, you can definitely see why she was angry or
Right.
But
annoyed.
and I think in the cut that I saw, you could only see just like the top of the areola.
Yeah,
you
it's just
couldn't
the
actually
top.
see like actual nipple itself. I can see where that sensor was like, yeah, but you're on a really fine line, especially in the mid '80s.
Yeah, I know.
Walked through the room and he was like, "What?"
Yeah, the whole gag is like the two stagehands was like, yeah, I can barely see them.
See it?
Yeah, I can
Right,
barely
right.
see them. It's like Simps can see it. Simps can definitely see it. Anyway, but the whole from this point on, the censor is getting beat every single time. She gets one of the barrels gets smashed into her.
Yeah. Oh, this poor woman.
The lamp, the guys are like moving, and Frank knows to duck. I think it's Frank that ducks or the dancer ducks, because they're at a set, they know that things go flying by,
Yeah.
so
Right.
they duck, but the censor does not. So she gets clocked. She gets clocked by that, and she gets like run over by the stagecoach. She gets smashed with a barrel, and she keeps the gag is so fucking 80s. It's not even an 80s thing, it's a 70s thing or a cartoon thing where
Right.
It's vaudeville slapstick is what
it's
is.
super slapsticks where
Yeah.
you get a little bit of a hand like band-aid, and then a face band-aid, and then an arm, and then it keeps getting gradually more
Progressively worse
bandaged
and
up.
worse and worse. Yeah.
And when she can't take it no more, she jumps Bryce for some reason, because
That's at the very end of the movie, which that's one thing I never got.
Exactly.
But
Rewatching
we'll get to
this
that.
again, there is no reason why she jumps Bryce.
Yeah. If you rewatched, you'd catch all the little things. I'd probably rewatch it again, just even after talking about it.
That's fine. That's fine.
It was those things were so. I was just impressed that the guy was from the New York Dolls.
Yep.
It is. It's actually. Is it actually the New York Dolls? Because I think it is. I think it says in the cast.
No, the dancers.
Yeah,
you're talking about the dancers. Those were the solid gold dancers, and oddly enough, that's actually the last performance they ever made was on set for this movie.
Yeah, I'm talking about the band. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you were talking about, Jay.
Yeah,
that was confusing. I didn't know that.
Now you could have missed it, and if you're a comedy connoisseur of the '90s, the nurse. Do you know who the nurse is?
That's Mimi.
That's Mimi from Drew Carey.
Yes, I remember
the nurse.
her.
I was like, oh shit, she's here too. Oh man,
Paul Schaefer in it. Paul Schaefer was in it too.
Yep, Paul Schaefer has a minor role.
There's I'm gonna show it on screen later, but when he leaves towards or as he steps out of the soup kitchen, I think there's like street performers, and it's Paul Schaefer and the David Letterman band all there.
Yeah, all there.
Dressed up in rags, and Bill Murray gets annoyed with them, and he brushes them over. It's fucking hilarious. And I'm like, oh shit, he's in it too. He's like, yeah,
right.
It's in New York, of course it is. So, of course,
great.
because he called Claire. Claire shows up, and we get the female part, or this female half of the love interest of the story. And of course, Karen Allen, if somewhere in your notes, oh my feelings, you have Karen Allen, please tell us why Karen Allen was so annoyed with Bill Murray.
Well, she first and foremost really absolutely abhorred the extension of her romantic scenes with Murray, because she personally didn't like Bill Murray. She never cared for Bill Murray as a person.
Okay.
Flat out. She actually went to Donner and asked to actually do a revision on the script to cut down on a lot of, especially the Kama Sutra scenes where they were joking about the Kama Sutra. And they were supposed to play that they were in love and everything. Yeah, she asked to have those scenes removed. Mm-hmm. Didn't work because Murray went, no, they have to be in here. They have to be in the movie. Other than that, like I know, then also there's a lot of the physical comedy that she was not very comfortable with.
I have to run really quick because my son needs a ride. Can I log back on if I come back?
No worries.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead, Jen.
It's okay. Yeah. It's fine.
I just take them.
That's okay.
Use the same link as well.
Okay, great.
Just hop back in. Okay. See you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.
All right. I'll kick her out. No, just kidding.
She got it. Okay.
She's got it. All right. We're gonna continue. It's okay. She'll be back. Hopefully. Also, about Karen Allen, she was annoyed with Bill Murray not only because of his personality, but she also is very much a script actress.
Yep,
and she comes from theater where she memorizes lines, and she was prepared for the role. She read her lines. She memorized her lines. She came in prepared, and suddenly, oh shit, 40% of this, like 60% of the script is gone.
It's just
And what now? And that sort of annoyed her as well. That's about the extent of what I know. Other than that, it seems to me that when you watch the movie itself, even from the first scene to the last scene, there is zero chemistry between them two.
oh yeah. No,
You
there
can
is
tell
none.
if you're watching this critically, even if you're just casually watching, it's like, I know they're supposed to be together, but it seems to me that like something's missing.
I was gonna say, you know what this that relationship really reminds me of, in I would say the most modern of parlances is the first Venom film. The relationship between Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock and I just blanked on the actress's name.
have not seen it, so I can't help you.
But the actress, they had absolutely no chemistry. It made no sense why they would have ever been together to begin with, and it makes no sense why he cares.
Michelle Williams?
That she's, yep, Michelle Williams. Yeah, why he would care that she's with somebody else ever? Because there's absolutely zero chemistry whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like she's out. Is either he's out of place, which I don't think so, because he kind of fits the role of Frank Cross, even with all the ad libs and all the changes. And she doesn't seem to me she fits that particular role. Or again, there's like no chemistry, or both.
You know what's funny is Bill Murray, when he took the role, he said, you know, I love the fact that I get to be the mean guy, because I never really get to be the mean guy. He also stated, it's hard. It's not hard to be a decent person, but it's hard to act like one. I'm sorry, Bill, that you've been failing your entire fucking life because you failed at both.
What do you mean he's not used to doing the mean guy? Peter Venkman is mean. The guy
he's not mean.
The guy from Caddyshack is not mean. He's just being a dick.
He's not malicious though.
Yeah, he's just being a dick. Even Frank Cross.
Frank
Cross, mean. He's just a dick.
No, Frank Cross is malicious. When he fires Elliot, then has his telescope pointed down to watch him suffer as he's escorted out of the building.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, that's malicious. That's full intent. Being an asshole is just being an asshole. You can generally just be kind of a dick, but like you could still be kind of a nice person on every now and then. I mean, look at the two of us.
Yeah, I know. I'm not mean to you, am I? I don't.
Stop hitting me.
I don't send out Karen Allen vibes. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right. We move on.
Who Karen Allen is basically like the complete antithesis of Frank's character, which is what she's supposed to be.
Yeah, of course. So we move on to this. Of course, I skipped over the fact that this is, of course, in the middle there. That's Frank Cross's boss, and on the other side is Bryce, who is kind of the sniveling mini Frank Cross. The guy who
he's the guy from
would replace Frank Cross if Frank Cross should have fallen.
He's the guy from LA, and he's and the thing is too, throughout most of the film, he doesn't seem like he's actually actively trying to be this conniving person who's trying to undermine anything that Frank is doing. And if anything, he's actually trying to actively help. In fact, throughout when Frank is even having his breakdowns,
I didn't see it that way at all.
It's up until the very end of the film where you actually see his real motives, where he goes, "Yeah, Frank is done."
I've seen that way before. It's sort of it's sort of a passive aggressive thing where he's like, "Oh, I'm just taking this thing off your hands, dude." It's like, "Oh, I'm dealing with this so you can deal with everything else. You're the CEO of the network. I'm just helping out with just one show." And that to me, an LA guy coming to do that thing,
I
there's no
guess.
way. It's like they're breeding the next Frank Cross
Yeah.
just in case Frank fails, right? And there's always, to me, I've listened to what they say and what the boss says. It's like there's a lot of, "Oh, if you're not doing this, we are going to kick you the fuck out. You are done," right? So there was always that thing where it's Bryce. It's very subliminal, very passive aggressive, but it's totally there. I've seen it like from this dinner, literally from this dinner.
Dinner. Yeah.
That's where I got
That's
the
the vibe you
vibes,
got.
and
Okay,
and
that's
maybe
fair.
it's
That's
the
fair.
actor because he always plays that sort of a character.
Yeah, he's kind of
Again,
typecast.
sort of typecast. Maybe they brought it on, like brought him on just because he sends that sort of vibe.
Vibe.
But again, you know me, I'm totally when I see people in movies and I know that type of character actor, I know that that's what they were looking for.
Four.
So that's what he's gonna play, and maybe he's, like actors want to get paid and have a job, so it's the 80s. So
Anyway, moving
I
on
want
throughout the scene.
before we're gonna move on to past, I want to get to reach one more thing because that's something I did see and I was surprised. There we go. So right there. Where Bill Murray trips, that's a real trip.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Do you know what line he said before that?
That
That was not in the script. That was ad lib that they kept in because it was relevant at the time.
What? I
When
just
he
don't remember.
poured the bucket of water on him, he said, "Oh God, I thought you were Richard Pryor for a second."
Oh yeah, dude.
I
That
would,
was
but
now.
I was like, well, the last time I saw this was about 10 years ago, but I used to watch this film religiously on Christmas. But anyway, since I hadn't watched it in a very, very long time, I could not catch that kind of joke. But as soon as I caught that, I went, "Oh no!"
That is
Oh,
a deep,
and it was like,
deep
"Yep,
cut, by the way.
that was by far, that was 100% ad lib by Murray." And they went, "Yep, we're gonna keep it." And they're like, "That's a really, really dark joke."
Dude, that's a joke Richard Pryor would have said on himself.
Well, that's a joke that Richard Pryor would have laughed at. With, you got me.
That's definitely why they kept it. That's definitely why they kept it. By the way, if you don't know anything about Richard Pryor was very addicted to hard drugs at some point because he was addicted to hard drugs.
He was freebasing cocaine, and then he literally set himself on fire.
His hair on fire, and from there he literally wrote a full monologue. And at one point on stage, he put out a box of matches. He flicked one over and he said, "Do you know what this is? This is Richard Pryor running in the streets after freebasing." He literally said it on stage.
Yeah.
And then on, it was throughout. Anybody who knew Richard Pryor knew that if they would have joked about that, they would have gotten the Johnny Carson's thumb up from Richard Pryor.
That's all right.
Yeah.
You're all right.
You're in. Right. Before we move on to the next thing, I'm sorry Jen couldn't be here, but we're going to have to do this without her. So we're going to do our first segment of the night, which is, why, computer? Why are you like this? It is textless poster or poster quiz, which I like to call a poster quiz, where we take posters that have their text smudged off or literally not be there at all. And all my feelings here is going to guess what it is. But here we go. Let's set this up full screen.
Side
Bam,
note,
bam.
Saf, she did multiple times. You have a kid.
And blam. All right. Audience can participate if
That's
they know
8
what it is.
millimeter.
That is 8mm. Yes, it is.
Anaconda.
Oh, it's easy today.
Bridesmaids.
That is true. Bridesmaids.
Oh,
This one is tough.
date night.
God damn it. It is date night.
Is
This is easy.
that just Godzilla?
Yes, the Matthew Broderick.
Oh, the 98.
1995 or 8 or 7.
98. It was the 98 one, yeah.
Yeah.
That's an awful movie. I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Close.
I Still Know What You Did Last Summer.
Correct. starring Moesha herself.
Megamind.
Megamind. This one's tough. It's one of 3 variations. Do you want me to punch in? I can punch it.
No, I was trying to see if that was actually supposed to be kanji or anything, but it's not. Boy, no.
Audience, please tell me. It is very tough. I know. It's a tough one.
It's supposed to be an exorcism movie, not an exorcist movie.
No. Ooh. Yes, I think. I haven't seen this movie in a long while.
You are of little help.
I think our audience is beat, and you yourself.
Well, Biffer is not here today, so
it's Stigmata.
Stigmata. Okay, yeah, that's fair. Oh fuck! I hated this movie, and I can't remember the name of it.
Let's go, chat. Let's go, chat. I know there's like 30 seconds of delay, but let's go. What is this movie?
It's like Compound or...
No, it's not Compound. It's about a compound.
I know it's about a compound. We Happy Few?
No. We Happy Few is something completely different.
I know. Throwing shit at the wall here. Yeah. No.
This movie is called Wanderlust, and
Wanderlust.
It had a very misleading PR because they said that Jennifer Aniston would be naked in this movie. And they had a poster with all the female actresses, including every single one. They were not naked. They were naked on a bed, but they covered everything up. But they heavily pushed the movie as in, this is the one where you're going to get to see Jennifer Aniston.
Nude.
And she was not, technically. By the way, the person who wrote this is Justin Theroux, which is this dude.
Justin Theroux,
who also wrote Tropic Thunder, which will come up in a
podcast. Who was also married to Jennifer Aniston for a very short period of time. Also married to Jennifer
Aniston at this point in time, where you see this poster. Last one.
Is that Cruel Intentions?
No, it's not Cruel Intentions.
No, it's oh god, it's the scene where Neve Campbell and Denise Richards make out. What the hell was the name of that movie? Something Things.
Yes.
Shit.
Come on, chat. Don't let me down. It's very easy.
I'm gonna try to let them get. Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Look, Pip, hot girls. All right. For the sake of everybody, this is Wild Things. Seth got it. At the
Yes.
last moment, Saf got it on the last moment. Good one, Saf. Wild Things. And he Googled it.
Yeah, way to go get all the easy ones.
Yeah.
Chat.
Again, it was random. It was totally random. All right. We are
Yeah, I'm
way,
waiting until
way
we get
behind.
to like the 1940s to 1950s sci-fi, where it's gonna get really wonky. We're just gonna be like,
yeah.
fuck, I don't know.
Lagoon, monster, black, something, maroon. Yeah. All right. So we're going to jump in to the past, but we're going to jump in way, way, way in the past. Well, two scenes I want to discuss. One is another Karen Allen scene where Lumpy gets his name. So the Lumpy comes from him colliding with, is it with the door, or she hits him with something? I saw it like 3 days ago and I don't remember. She hits him with something and he gets a lump. You don't see it, obviously.
Yeah.
And from there on end, he's called Lumpy. And later on, of course, I have to take this down because, copyright and shit. You get to see him at his place, at his home residence. We'll give it this. This is inside his. Is it a Jersey home or a Brooklyn home? I think it's Brooklyn.
They're in New York. I mean,
they're in New York, so it's either Brooklyn or they've like
it's
suburban.
Let's just say they're in part of the 5 boroughs of New York. Let's just put it that way.
New Jersey is not part of the 5 boroughs. I think Jen would tell you significantly.
No, but Brooklyn is. So
yeah, I think it's Brooklyn. They say as much, but
it looks more like Queens.
And there's a shot of Bill Murray as a kid, or Frank Cross as a kid, getting his Christmas present. And what is it? It's 4 pounds of prime veal.
Prime veal. And also from who? His older brother?
His older brother, who is playing his dad. That, I've gotten used to it.
What? If you want a choo-choo train, go out and get a job. Frank, he's only 4.
Yeah.
And that you get to see now the psychological breakdown of Frank as a person and how he delved into television as his medium to cope with the loss of his mom, because his mom left that night and never came back.
Never came back. And so we get to see that, his home, then the origin of the Lumpy name, which comes up later on in the movie several times whenever Karen Allen's character Claire is in view. And of course, we get to see Frank's origins as the dog.
Freddy the dog.
Freddy the dog. So
wait. Are you telling me you picked Freddy the dog over her?
Exactly. The ghost. You know what? I knew about Sam Kinison not getting this job. Sam Kinison would have done a much better job.
It. Oh God, yeah.
And I'll tell you why I know why Sam Kinison would have done a greater job. Not because Sam Kinison is Sam Kinison, but we have proof. We actually have proof why Sam Kinison would have done a much greater job. Have you heard of a little show called Married with Children?
Yeah.
And in Married with Children, there is an episode, a Christmas episode, which is a type of a Christmas carol, which in that, the past ghost is played by Sam Kinison. And he does a spectacular job.
Yep.
A spectacular job playing the most Sam Kinison-esque ever, as in the character of the divorcee guy who is annoyed with his fat fucking wife or something like that. It's just, It's a bit of a miss. After rewatching this and knowing what I know, it's just such a shame. It's just
No,
such a shame.
no, don't get me wrong. I do believe he did a good job. The replacement did a good job, but it's just what could have been would have definitely been better.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I mean, he's not bad. He's
Yeah.
definitely not bad. He does his it's
But-
it's his own character, I guess, but
Yeah.
it's just a bit of a miss. For me, his jokes didn't land for me. His demeanor, I was like, I get it. It's like a
That's fair.
cabbie. He plays a cabbie. It's not more than that. It's just a big miss for me. He just he does have the moments where he gets up from the chair and all the kids are there and he's sitting with Frank. It's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, it's like this and that. It's like, okay, I got you. I got you. But we do get to
That's fair.
see a more of the story where Frank gives up on Claire because he is very much job driven. He knows that being the dog is just a stepping stone to something else.
Well, because the whole thing was where instead of going to visit the family and friends, he said, no. This executive invited me out to dinner. I have to go out to dinner with them. This is what I have to do. And Claire's like, well, no, we have to go because we already promised we would visit our friends and family tonight.
Yeah.
And Frank, to focus on his career, doesn't realize that she is flat out telling him, you have to come with me or we're done. That's it.
Okay. So, Frank literally wakes up from the past ghost into the set where Bryce is literally taking control of everything, and he comes off as crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And now see this is where I get the. Can you get the other side of what I was saying about Bryce, where he actually does seem genuinely concerned about Frank's mental health, because it looks like it's like you are experiencing a breakdown. It seems like you are literally going to go crazy. Let's get you out of here and try to get you some help.
And he also says you're breaking down because I think the stress of making sure this show goes off without a hitch is a major issue for you, and you need to like deal with other things. That's on the surface to me. That's why I said it's very passive aggressive. So
in a way, I get that.
He after Claire gets to meet him at the thing, she does say she works at a soup kitchen and he might stop by, and we get to see him interact with these three people. Is it 3 former workers?
No, they're just
because they seem to know him.
They're just 3 kind of crazy people. And
he sits down and eats.
One of them did. One actually did. According to the script, one of them did work on the Freddy show with him.
Oh, okay. Because I was looking back, and I think the middle guy knows him.
Herman.
And the other 2 are like joining in or something like that. And
that's
they also
Herman,
have like an interaction later. Herman.
Yeah. That's why Herman is actually mentioned later too.
Yeah, we'll get to see it in a short while.
Yep.
And of course, Frank, listens to Claire and everything, and he wants her to come with him to rekindle, but she keeps saying, well, I have like responsibilities here. And he says, well, the other 2 workers can deal with it. And she said, no, they're all volunteers. I'm a volunteer as well. They're not getting paid. It's like, and he says, good, they can leave too. It's like, Frank, you don't understand.
Don't understand it.
You just don't understand. And he still doesn't understand. And that's what makes her more annoyed with him, because he just doesn't get it.
But this is also where we get the line where Claire asks him, well, how could you even think like this, especially around Christmas?
Yeah.
And what does Frank say?
You say it.
Ah, bah humbug.
Bah humbug.
the quintessential line from Ebenezer Scrooge.
Yep. Yep.
Only
So
time you get to hear it in the movie too. So
it's the only time. It doesn't.
Yep.
Oh, I totally.
it's the only
misremembered.
time he says "bah humbug."
I work so much to get everything ready for the show, and I try to watch things more than once. And I have watched this once plus. Still, lines sometimes go
Yeah.
off my head. Now,
Well, then
I
you
do
forgot too
admit,
the
I don't
entire
really-
the entire sub, like Bob Cratchit is his assistant, and Tiny Tim is her son.
yeah. There's also I noticed like the most unimportant things there are. So just to give you an idea, all right? Just to give you an idea of what's in my head right now. Who plays Alfred Woodward's son? Not the one that doesn't talk, the older one. See, now you're stuck, right?
I
This
don't
is
know.
what's stuck in my head. That's Danny Glover's kid in Lethal Weapon for about 3 of the iterations, I think. I'm not sure he's in the 4th one, but he's definitely in the first 3.
Wait, does he also play the older version of? I think he does.
No, the kid where she tackles him and does like a in his tummy.
Yeah.
Right? It comes up in a second because we're in the present spirit.
Yeah.
Where she takes him to Alfred Woodward's son, his assistant, and they drop the son. They drop the son, and they do the tummy
Grace
thing.
Cooley, by the way.
I don't know the name of the actor, but he's definitely Danny Glover's son in Lethal Weapon in 3 movies.
Huh.
That's the stuff I remember, and it drives me crazy. What comes and I forget Bahumba, which is almost the most important line of the entire freaking movie.
Yep.
Yeah. So we get to see your favorite, my favorite, Carol Kane.
Carol Kane. Oh boy.
She
You
is
realize-
such a fantastic actress, and
she's so great, and
small parts.
Do you know that she actually spent multiple scenes crying after doing cuts because she didn't want to do the physical comedy that was involved in the role, but she knew it was a really great role.
Yeah.
She's like, because she has openly said it in multiple interviews. I felt bad about hurting Bill.
Yeah,
He's actually like
she
he's a
hurt
good friend
Bill
of mine.
a lot.
Yeah, oh, she did.
She hurt Bill a lot. She literally in the toaster scene, she did hit him with the toaster.
Yeah, hit him in the face with the toaster and actually cut his lip open.
Yeah. I think they shut down for like 3 days or something like that. They filmed something
No,
else.
it was for half a day. It was more the thing of like, yeah, everyone's like, oh wow, you got a cut lip. It's not a big deal. Yeah, but on a scene where you're supposed to be hit by a ghost and you're not supposed to see that, and having to do makeup work to cover it over, and it's still swelling, you can't shoot at that time, and you're basically just going, hey, here's a whole bunch of money, I'm going to set fire to it.
Well, I like the fact that when she does a little dance, right? Can I?
Well, the thing where it actually when he gets hit in the face by her wings, that was completely unintentional, because she said I couldn't actually control where they were because I don't know, because they're not in the actual extension of my body.
Yeah.
couldn't feel where they were, so when I turned and I hit him in the face, I felt really bad about it.
And another thing, she does this little twirl, and she got annoyed, but Richard Donner told her, look, it's perfect that you don't do it perfectly.
That's supposed to be the point. Yeah.
I like the fact that the ghost is being a little bit silly.
Yeah.
Get silly with it. Don't be so, so much into what is written down in the script. That kind of fits with Richard Donner's taking off from Bill Murray. Well, Bill Murray loves to do the ad libs, and I don't know. I don't know why she would have cried, but she literally was annoyed she couldn't do she spent time preparing for this. She spent time trying to do the point twirl and the ballet thing, and she couldn't do it, and she got annoyed. But the whole mismatched dance went like into the final cut.
Yeah.
Right. So she takes him off. He gets to see, Alfred Woodard's character, his assistant, in her home. He gets to see the son that doesn't talk. Also, she takes him to his brothers, his actual life brother, his younger brother, and to their gathering where he actually invited him to join. And of course, Frank said no.
As everyone says that we invite him every year, he never shows up.
Yeah. Just to give you a little bit even more information about Frank. And of course,
they're playing a game of Trivial Pursuit that's based off of TV.
Yeah.
And Frank is furious. He knows. Come on, answer. You know this. You know this answer.
And he gets a VCR because Alfred Woodard is much better than Frank Cross.
Well,
I don't remember the name of her character. So
Grace Cooley, his assistant, is a much better person. So every single person that she wrote, like, well, get him a VHS a tape of one of the shows from our network, or give him a towel. No, what she was doing, she was actually getting them actual gifts that were good gifts at the time.
Yeah.
So getting a VCR back in 1988.
That was a good gift.
That's a hell of a good gift, man. That was Betamax was still technically a thing.
Yeah. I know. we had a VHS VCR that was not stolen from Lebanon, by the way. That was definitely bought with real money, just not Israeli money or any money. Never mind. Moving on. Real big political issue right here. Anyway. No, it's a crying shame, by the way. That never mind. All right, so moving on from personal history.
Quit bringing shit up then. Come on, move on.
Right, so Ghost of Christmas Past leaves, and she leaves them in the sewer. And in the sewer, we get to meet Herman again. And there's a little thing when Bill Murray leaves the soup kitchen. Herman asks for $2, right?
Yeah.
And Bill says, I don't have any $2, right? And then he sees him frozen
to death.
And he said, wow, I should have given you that $2, shouldn't I? It's like, that really wouldn't have saved him, but maybe could have. Right?
Well, but he was also said, well, why didn't you stay with Claire? Why didn't you stay at the place? Why didn't you stay where you could be safe and warm? Why'd you come down here? Because this is the start of his breakdown here.
Yeah, he realizes things that it's super. He realizes things about himself that he really might not like.
Yeah,
he really
and also dying of hypothermia. Then, you'd have to be some kind of really tough sumbitch to have the wherewithal to put on a jaunty little like smile and then hold up a wristwatch in between your fingers.
Yeah. I like the fact that
because actually what would actually happen at meth, by the way, if you're freezing to death, is you would first take off all your clothes.
If you're freezing to death?
Yeah.
If your clothes are wet, you mean?
No. It's a thing with extensive hypothermia when you're literally freezing to death. Mm-hmm. Your body heat actually exudes enough warmth where it overcompensates for it and it over exacerbates your nerves. There's actually a full phrase for it. I forget the term for it. We actually mentioned it in the I'm Thinking of Anything's review.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. You tend to actually take your clothes off because you feel so hot. But actually, no, you're freezing to death.
Well, you frozen wasteland people, I don't get it. We're at 24 and warm around here, and it's actual winter. All right, moving on. Oh, I one thing I have to mention because it made me laugh so hard just because of the context. Bill Murray gets in there before he sees Herman. He looks at where he is and he sees all the frozen thing, and it looks like, oh, I'm in a sewer. It's like, oh my God, oh, this place is so nice. This is just like Trump Tower. And I was like, oh, right. When
Yeah,
Trump Tower was built, the New Yorkers didn't really love
hated
it
it.
at all. They hated it. They thought it was ugly. And I do mean the
Gaudy,
outside.
gaudy. That's
Yeah,
the
gaudy. Yeah.
perfect adjective for it. It was gaudy. Yeah.
Now, whatever you want to think about the man right now, I don't really care. But it's back then it was a thing, especially in New York,
Oh yeah. Mhm.
Right. Moving on. So he gets back into the production. And of course, oh, I didn't want to show this. I wanted to show the elevator scene.
Oh, where he just like, oh no, I get it now.
This
I
one.
get it now.
This
It was, oh god, it's grim death. Get it away from me.
And it's supposed to be like the puppet or
It's
the actor that is
it's
going
the
to
actor
be
playing
Scrooge,
death in the
kind
Christmas
of,
Carol.
yeah, in a Christmas Carol thing on set. And Bryce is like, relax.
Hey, stop it. No, stop it. You're scaring Frank. You're
Yeah.
scaring Frank.
You're scaring Frank. And he says, Frank, just relax, go to
Go
your
up to your
office. Yeah, relax, drink something. We're fine here. We've got it under control.
Hmm.
And this is Christmas Eve. And the point of view is Frank is actually doing a live televised show. So that's the
Yeah.
point. That's the point of origin of this whole thing, is where he's making people work on Christmas Eve trying to entertain other people, where they could have taped it and got it non-live.
Well, the major thing too is back then you had to catch things when they were being aired,
Yeah.
or you'd miss them. That was the whole thing, and
No.
that's the reason why he wanted to make it so emphatic in the production meeting on marketing that they had to watch this.
Yes, because it's live and you're never going to see it again.
And there was this one little, sorry, speaking of that, one little side caveat
okay.
there before
Right.
we go into the Ghost of Christmas Future. When one of the production assistants, it wasn't Grace, it was another production assistant, said, hey, listen, we've heard that there was an elderly woman who died watching the new commercial for Scrooge out of fear.
Yeah.
And time is on the phone right now, and they want to comment. He goes, well, she was old, she was going to pass anyway. Well, he says they were old and they were going to pass anyway. He grabs the phone. Listen, here at IBC, recognize this as a tragedy.
Yeah. Immediately it goes into like the corporate speak.
like current damage control. Let's go.
So before we actually get to meet the Ghost of Christmas Future, Bobcat
Goldthwait.
Bobcat.
Cool.
Anyway,
hey,
Bobcat.
Hey. On this point, just call him Elliot, because that's his character's name. Just call him Elliot.
So Elliot rolls in the door.
After we've seen him throughout the entire movie lose his job, his wife left him, so now he also has no home. He went to sell his blood, but then he
went to sell his
passed
blood
out after he lost so much blood that another homeless man stole his jacket, then stole the money that he got for his pints of blood.
Yeah. So he's at the lowest point possible, especially on Christmas Eve, which is supposed to be joyful and full of hope and all that stuff. And he comes in with the shotgun where, in New York, in the 80s, it's pre-Giuliani, so I guess it's possible.
Yeah.
So he comes in, he shoots. Now, one of the things I've heard, like it's a comment, I try not to look at it, but of course I did. it says that in today's like atmosphere, this scene wouldn't have flied because of all the school shootings. And I was like, why?
No, well, no, it wouldn't have. No, not because of the school shootings, because of the mass office shootings.
Yeah.
Now that makes a lot more sense. But
Yeah,
also, in a way, it kind of does make sense because it goes toward a greater purpose.
yeah, exactly.
Had
That's
this
what
been
I'm
just
saying.
like the ultimate grim end death of Frank at the end, where Elliot went like, "Yep, wish you a Merry Christmas," shot him in the chest, and that's the end of the movie. No one
Yeah.
learned a lesson. Everyone suffers. Okay.
The thing is, Elliot is not a competent shooter, as we can
Yeah.
definitely see. He can handle the gun, but he cannot aim whatsoever.
No.
Because when he shoots for the first time, he literally shoots in the air, and it's like Jack Burton in when they like go into the scene where they bust the wedding. He shoots in the
Yeah.
air, and all the rocks fall on him. It's the same gag.
Same thing.
It's
Yeah.
basically the same gag. But
That also that's a double barrel shotgun. How
Yeah.
many times does he shoot before he has to reload?
well, the thing is,
Pay attention to that.
and that I paid attention to that because on the first go, he shot 3 times and then he opened to reload. That's a mistake.
Well, the thing is too is when he first shot he actually pulled the double trigger, which actually
Yeah.
shot both barrels. So he
Yes.
would have actually already had to reload.
Exactly, but he didn't. So, Frank tries to run away.
Yeah.
And he does manage to run away to the
At the
elevator.
end, and then in the end, well, that too. But before you get to that scene, you do have to remember the fact that in the background he has that whole wall of TV screens.
Oh yeah, and
Right, and it shows the
comes up.
vision of the Ghost of Christmas Past Ghost of Christmas Future coming up throughout that, and his hand is about to reach him before Elliot breaks in.
And that's the transition. It breaks,
Yeah.
and you think, oh, okay,
Yeah.
and it goes up to a completely different scene, and then he runs away to the elevator, and now the ghost catches him.
So, yeah, but that entire escape scene, Frank is still telling Elliot like, "You don't understand. You think you've had a bad day. I have had a terrible day." I'm like, Frank, also, you're still being an asshole because you haven't had the kind of bad day that Elliot's had. Because he's literally lost basically everything.
Exactly.
You, sir, can still recover.
I mean, the only thing interesting about like the next scene is him watching his own brother cremate him, and then he's put inside the box as it gets burned. It's not really something that you
I would say
to teach you a lesson.
Well, no, I would say Claire's turn to a more callous side.
The Claire one, this one.
Yeah.
Where she literally turns into a Frank-esque character after Frank dies.
A very yuppie monster.
Yeah, a yuppie monster.
Parlance, yes.
Exactly. And that kind of triggers him. But when he leaves the ghost, when the ghost kind of thrusts him into real life, it literally thrusts him into Elliot, right? And he gets out and he says, "I'm alive." And Elliot says, "Not for long."
He goes like, "I want to live. I want to live. I want to live. I'm alive."
And he says, "It's not for long." But then he literally catches him and he tells him, "Well, I'm definitely hiring you back.
I'm hiring you back. Hey, we're going to put you in a front office. Hey, you want an office? Hey, you want my office?" And Ellie goes, "No, I actually never liked your office."
And then he pulls his shirt and he does what his secretary did to her son. He goes out and he does like
blows raspberries
on his stomach.
Yep.
On his stomach. And I was like, oh my God, that's so dumb. That's so dumb.
Yeah.
And he has like the epiphany moment, right? And he goes down to the studio, and
What's
hilarity
really funny too
ensues.
is the fact that you can already tell that Elliot is completely fucking unhinged because you've seen your boss, who was an absolute insufferable asshole, turn into loving you and giving you everything you wanted, and you're like, oh yeah, by the way, I want you to go into this one recording area in the bay, the docking bay, where everything is set up, where all like where basically all the backstage stuff is set up, and I want you to hold everyone at gunpoint for me
Yeah.
because
Which
I
is-
have something to say. And Elliot's like, "You got it, boss."
All right. So before we continue, we're gonna do the cinema deathmatch segment where we take two movies, we pit them together, we see which one is the better one. At the end of the day, if we can't find a clear winner, it goes back to our criteria where it is Saturday night, Friday night, with the boys, with the girls, whatever significant other. Which one will you pop in, stream, or DVD and watch? So
I did
as
say
I
that real quick. We have Saf and Pip.
yeah,
in
we have
chat,
Saf and
which
Pip
means
watching.
that anything Harry Potter, we both have to disagree with the
Of course.
yeah.
Overrule, you mean. Let me set this up. Bank, bank, bonk. And we are a go.
You
Fight
dirty
Club.
You are the dirtiest of motherfuckers.
Of course. I've set this up knowing this would have tripped you. I already showed this to you, and you've been waiting for about an hour and a quarter to act.
I know, but I was hoping that Jen would come back before we got to this point, so we'd have a third voice.
And Jen has not come back, so we'll deal with this on our own.
So you already know what my option is. Come on.
It's Fight Club. It's definitely Fight Club. I would have chosen Fight Club regardless. Ho, ho, ho. Ho, 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 dude.
Wow! 2 Disney movies that you fucking hate, but I know the one you're going to pick because it stars one of our favorite actors
of all time.
Aladdin
and Cinderella. I have to go with Aladdin.
Aladdin.
Because Cinderella, even though it's bibbidi bobbidi boop, it's bibbidi
Sorry.
bobbidi nope.
Sorry, it's a Robin Williams playing one of his
Robin
best
Williams
roles ever.
playing Aladdin. Crazy man. All right. The Illusionist or Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Now, I don't like Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
I know you don't.
I've confessed and I've admitted it. But between those two, I would pick Ferris Bueller's Day Off because The Illusionist, even though it is a solid 7, I would rather watch Ferris Bueller.
Yep. Way more fun movie, and I wholeheartedly agree. Also, it's based in Chicago. Moving on.
Casablanca or
oh, you motherfucker!
It's a Wonderful Life. I have zero control. Zero control. So, Humphrey Bogart or James Stewart?
Have to always go with Casablanca because of the Le Marseillaise scene. Because that was actually filmed. That was actually filmed with people that were alive during World War II while their city was still being fucking bombed.
Yeah.
Yes, Casablanca all the way.
Yes. Plus, I have zero attachment to It's a Wonderful Life. I've seen it twice. It's not that great. It's just not. Casablanca, it's a much better movie. Okay. We've got some
Oh no, this is fun. This is fun.
Here. I'm sorry that Jen missed this out. Face Off or Donnie Darko? You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Although I do like Donnie Darko, it is more of a cult classic than an actual thing. I would go Face Off. It's just the acting. Purely, it's not even the story. The story is The acting is exquisite.
In Face Off?
In Face Off, because John Travolta nails Cage and Cage nails Travolta. But
By being
also
both like
being
like
Cage?
outrageously hammy and campy. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But
Every day of the week. Every day of
I would say that pretty
Thank
much
you, Bella.
anyone could
Thank you, Bella.
fucking
Thank you,
pull that
Bella.
off.
Thank you for being here, and thank you for joining in, and thank you for voting for it.
For
Love
fuck's
you,
sake.
man. Love you.
I have to go with Donnie Darko because God, I love that fucking movie. But okay, it's gonna be Face Off.
Overruled. Die Another Day or The Mask of Zorro. They're remaking Zorro, and Zorro is now a hacker. So I'm not gonna watch that one. The face.
Can I just give up on life now already? Jesus Christ.
They're remaking Zorro, and Zorro is a hacker.
I'm just so glad that first and foremost, I have to put a side caveat here and just say how happy I am that the live action version of Cowboy Bebop on Netflix
Oh yeah.
already got fucking canceled.
Yeah.
Oh God. Faith in humanity stored just a little
just
tiny
a little bit. All right,
Just a little
dude,
bit.
we've got 2 choices, and then we've got another pair to do.
I have actually never seen Die Another Day, so
All right, let's do this. Haven't seen.
definitely Boondock Saints. Definitely Boondock Saints.
Boondock Saints all day, every day. Last pairing. I'm gonna go first. It is 40-Year-Old Virgin, because Armageddon is not a good movie.
Armageddon only had one good pop hit out of it, the Aerosmith pop hit. That was
I hate that song so
thing.
much. I hate that song so much.
Yeah, but it's still it's a catchy pop hit. I'll have to give it to the 40-Year-Old Virgin is actually just a funny movie. I can still watch it.
Yeah, it is a funny movie.
Yeah. One of Judd Apatow's best, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
That was awesome. Come on, man. Come on, man. All right. Done. All right, cool.
All right.
Last bit of shenanigery in Scrooged is basically Bill Murray going completely apeshit and literally destroying a live Christmas Carol because he had a repentance moment, an experience.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
And that, again,
Revelation. Here we go.
as I told you, like this was acted completely different from the way he was supposed to act it, given the screenplay.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was supposed to be a very happy and uplifting sort of thing, and then it got dour and very sentimental at the end.
Now,
As I said before, I think it was way better the way that he pulled it off. I give Murray credit the way that he pulled it, especially at the end, when he was actually even able to fake tears at the end. It's like,
yeah,
okay, yeah, no, this works.
Now
This works so well.
I want to deal with a few things because, again, we're not going to go over the entire scene, but he ad-libs so much. Now, I don't know if you can tell he ad-libs or not because it's his own, style of doing things.
Yeah.
He ad-libs a lot, and there's every time they cut away to that room where Bryce is and the censor woman is, it seems very structured. And when they go down to him, it seems very unstructured, seems very loose. Now, how do I know this? When you have the scenes at the booth, at the director's booth, every line is delivered sort of on point. When Bill Murray's downstairs and you got Bill Murray in the shot with people around him, it seems like the people around him are like extras in a movie, even though some of them are actual reacting. No, some of them are actual actors. Yeah. They're lost. They seem lost in that frame.
Yeah,
they seem to look at him and just have just a little bit of reaction, not much. Like Buddy Hackett at some point, he's in the shot, but he seems like he's an extra there. He just stands there in awe of something that is going on.
Yeah.
And we get the revelation where Alfred Woodward's son has his like first
Grace Cooley's son.
Grace Cooley's son. He has
Our surrogate Tiny Tim for the film looks over, and when Frank at the end is like, well, at that end, I don't know really what else to say, and that poor little kid, he hasn't said a word since his father died, and it was a whole thing
That's
that was
the
a
whole
side
backstory
story
thing,
in the film where Grace Cooley, who was his assistant, who is sitting at Bill Murray, if you look on there, that would be stage left.
Yeah.
Took him to a doctor, and the doctor said, well, I don't know. Well, he just has to get over it and speak again.
Yeah.
And at that point in time, him seeing the change in Frank, and not only that, but his love of A Christmas Carol, because you saw him earlier while Frank was going through the Ghost of Christmas Present.
Yeah.
He saw the little
present.
boy watching A Christmas Carol, and with when he saw Tiny Tim saying "God bless everyone," the little boy looked over at the screen and just nodded.
Yeah, of course,
because he knew he needed some kind of catharsis, some kind of good moment. When Frank was able to provide that for everyone, that's when the little boy was able to tug at his little
heartstrings.
Coat.
Yeah.
He literally tugged at his coat and went, and he looked down and he went, and remember, God bless us, everyone. And that's when everyone goes, my heart, oh, my feelings, literally,
exactly.
oh, my name, my feelings,
exactly.
You got me. Oh, you got me, a little bastard.
And we get the catharsis, and of course, Claire is there to, pick up the moment, and of course, she's got her assistants there, or not the volunteers are there to give a little bit of an extra, mushiness to the whole deal, and of course, big finish. Ebenezer Scrooge.
And why didn't he take the moment to be like, hey, and by the way, can someone else check the sewers for Herman? Because, oh my God, someone fucking died down there. You can still save him.
I think he's dead, dude.
But no one did. You know why? Because he saw him as an angel when all the ghosts show up.
Oh, of course. Of course. And that's it. That is basically the movie. So
that's Scrooged, yeah.
That's it. Let's sum up. I'll start this time. I really did not enjoy watching this movie. I really, really did not like watching this movie. I didn't say it at the beginning.
Motherfucker, you.
Yeah, I know.
Gotta use a casino.
It's not because I don't celebrate Christmas. It's not because I have no attachment. The thing is with this movie, and I think when I saw it the first time, I had sort of the same feeling. I was expecting Ghostbusters Bill Murray when I saw this.
Yeah.
As a kid, I knew of Christmas. I knew of everything. I grew up with a lot of American culture and British culture. So Christmas, we don't celebrate Christmas, but we know of Christmas. We know what's going on. We know of Charles Dickens. The Christmas Carol thing is it's very much in the culture I consume, so I know of it. But when I saw this movie originally, I didn't quite like it because I was expecting a different Bill Murray.
That's fair.
Now that I've watched it again, I didn't expect Bill Murray to be, the Ghostbusters Bill Murray. I didn't expect Peter Venkman. I just didn't like it. I just couldn't like it. It was at a certain point, after Carol Kane, it was an actual chore to watch.
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy.
It did absolutely nothing for me. It pulled on the heartstrings I was expecting it to pull at the very end, but not much more of this. It seems
Okay.
like Bill Murray's character was just hamming it up to ham it up.
And that was
And
oddly enough, one of Bill Murray's major criticisms of Richard Donner, because he was always just like, be funnier, be more verbose. You have to take over every single scene. You have to be the central actor in these
and
roles.
and that's the most annoying part is because I love Bill Murray. I like him
Yeah.
funny. I like him brooding as well in other movies that have later on he's done way more like the brooding type like it started with is it Lost in
Lost
Translation?
in Translation.
So
Yeah.
that was the first one where he played the old guy, and he played the old guy in so many other movies where he's like the brooding type.
Well, no,
Um,
well, I wouldn't even say brooding. I would say he played more the straight man, not the
Straight
comedic.
man, a bit of stoicism in some movies.
Yeah.
Some of them good, some of them are, hit and miss, depending on what you like.
Yeah.
But overall, he has become less of a Stripes Bill Murray and more of a Lost in Translation Bill Murray.
Yeah.
So the ad lib guy and the actor, I would say. And again, it's all about expectation. I used to have expectations. Now it's not about expectations. It's about looking at the movie and watching it and trying to enjoy it. And I couldn't enjoy it. I'm sorry. I couldn't. I just couldn't.
No, that's fine. That's fine, buddy. I mean, yeah. Again, as we talked about all of these movies, it's as though art is subjective.
Oh, crazy, right?
Wow. What a crazy notion. As for me, I think this is one of my favorite actual Christmas films. Just because I think it was a very good interpretation of A Christmas Carol for the late 80s. It's very of its time. Do not get me wrong.
Very
It's
late.
very dated and
80s.
it's very of its time. But I do love a good majority of the performances. Granted, as we talked about before, I think Kinnison would have been far better as Ghost of Christmas Past. I do think that they should have kept in a lot of the footage that they cut out.
Yeah. Is it? I think Karen Allen said that when she watched it for the first time, she was like, "Wait, we filmed something here. I remember filming this."
Yeah,
and
we're
she was
talking about like
told,
this is originally supposed to be an hour and 35-minute movie. It got cut down to 97 minutes.
Hour 35 is less than 97 minutes.
Sorry, I'm sorry, 135
Maybe
minutes.
135 minutes? Okay.
Yeah.
That seems more plausible.
2 hours and 15 minutes. You know what I mean? Moving on. Don't be a dick.
If this movie would have been 2 hours and 15 minutes, I would have been very annoyed.
Well,
Very,
no,
very
it would have
annoyed.
actually expanded on the especially the relationship between him and his brother.
Yes.
It would have downplayed the relationship between him and Claire, which is supposed to be like that was supposed to be a side story of a side story. Not almost like his impetus of the reason why he decided to become a good person.
But I think I mean, you could add a scene here and scene there. I'm not sure I would have enjoyed it more or less. It's really hard to tell. It's really hard to tell. Like, let's say we take Fellowship of the Ring. Do you enjoy the extra 4.5 minutes that they've added in the director's cut? Because I did. And it does explain those little things. In this one, I don't know what an extra 45 minutes would have explained that you couldn't do in 95 minutes. I don't know. It's real hard to tell because we don't have that version, and we'll never have the director's version of Scrooged.
I just
it's literally been cut away and thrown.
Yeah, more than anything, I just think that it was a rush project, and I really understand why, as much as like, don't get me wrong, I really enjoy Bill Murray as an actor. I enjoy his work, but I can understand how every single person that he's ever worked with is like, oh wow, he's utterly insufferable to work with.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially people who come in. It's antithetical, especially when we talked about this with Karen Allen coming in with a script, being prepared, studied her lines, coming in, and we've got a quote unquote joker who just says whatever he likes because
Yeah.
he gets paid more than everybody else. Which
He made up literally it's almost an entire fifth of the entire budget was just his salary.
yeah, and it's real hard to argue with that, but yeah, it's you can't.
I mean,
make
and also
you technically can't make a decent movie like this. Like, imagine people like this doing, I don't know, Die Hard 4. Oh wait, that happened.
yeah.
See, that's the level of that's the level of where we're at.
But like this is one though. That being said, though, this is still one of my favorite holiday films to watch, just for a laugh, because I think I always have fun watching it. I'm sorry you didn't have a good time. It is definitely not my favorite holiday film, which you already know what my favorite holiday film is.
You told me, and I completely forgot.
It's The Ice Harvest.
The Ice Harvest, right.
Which is a movie that is like everyone.
The only moments I like really enjoyed in the movie is Elliot's scenes.
Oh yeah,
like,
Bobcat Goldthwait.
in
Yeah,
the
because
board,
Bobcat Goldthwait was
outside
at the height
being
of
thrown
his
out.
powers at that point in time.
Excuse me?
Bobcat Goldthwait was at the height of his powers at that point in time.
It was after Police Academy 2.
After his second HBO special.
It's after the second HBO special. It's just before Police Academy 4, Citizen's Arrest, where he played he had a good part in it.
Yeah.
So it was,
and before he started
time.
directing
Late
his own
80s
films too,
was Bobcat's day.
Big day.
He had the character. It's not him. It's his character.
It's the character.
And in this one, it was
very subdued.
He was almost there when he had the shotgun, but not really. He didn't do the Bobcat character.
It was showing some range, which is a good thing. It's a good thing to show. Yeah.
That's why I like those parts. And he had good lines in it and good jokes in those things.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it's a bit of a miss. Like I said, it's a bit of a miss for me. I'm sorry. It's, it's the same with you in Ghostbusters 2, where you thought it was good.
Again, you don't have to apologize, man. Again, art is completely subjective. Everyone is entitled to their own opinions. And that's just the way it is.
Just saying. All right. Before we close it out, and it's a real shame that Jen had to leave, but
that's all right.
Just reschedule with a different movie, because she is a hoot and a half. So before we leave, we're gonna watch the short version, not a short virgin, a short.
Well, technically, a virgin did give birth on Christmas.
A short version of Scrooged. Hold on. Here we go. Just a second. We'll set it up. Bing, bang, boom, bam. We'll increase the sound like so.
Okay, here we go. The short version.
Incoming! Is there a back way to this place? Elliot Loudermilk, Code 9. We will own Christmas. To old times, my friend. You can't buy publicity like this. Don't fall apart, Frank. I'm the ghost of Christmas past. Thanks, Lumpy. I never liked a girl enough to give her 12 sharp knives. It's a bone, you lucky dog. Lumpy, what a surprise. I think it's time we had a little talk. Come play with me, Frank. Sometimes the truth is painful. It's a toaster. Where are we? Trump Tower? Maybe I should have given you the $2. I know what you're here for. come and get me. To Frank, the best brother I ever had. Honey, I'm home. I'm alive. Not for long. The Jews taught me a great word. Schmuck. It's Christmas Eve. It's not too late. God bless us, everyone. And they lived happily ever after.
All right.
Already.
All right. Cool. Before we leave, a little bit of housekeeping. Next week, we're going to discuss whether or not Die Hard is a Christmas movie or not. The big debate, the only debate there is. We're going to, you already know the answer. Next week, we are sending you guys out there.
See you next week.
We're sending you guys out there to watch the original, not the only, but the original Die Hard, Nakatomi Plaza Die Hard. So for suggestions, anything you want, plus we're still looking for a graphical designer, at Mephisto on Twitter or Instagram at Mephisto79. Or if you like to email me, it is open to everything. Mephisto79 at gmail.com. By the way, all your suggestions, all your gripes, everything can be done in the comment section down below. So please like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more stuff. Of course, I'm not going to forget it, even though she's not here. Please go give Jen from JerseyGirlJenni a follow for some tunes and some chatting. And she's a
if you
peppy
ever
Jersey
wanted to
girl.
know
Let me say that.
what kind of Pop-Tarts you should buy, follow Jen.
Oh yeah, the Pop-Tart.
She won't steer you wrong.
It is the Pop-Tart Queen. If you're all about that, you can go and give her a follow on that. We will definitely try and reschedule her for something else that finds her fancy, I would say, because we have a list, an ever-growing, massive list of things to cover. It is soon Christmas and then the end of the year, and we've got some good, we've got January 1st as the next year podcast, so it'll be interesting. Next, we're gonna save it.
January is going to be a very interesting month because
interesting month.
That one weekend is going to be a very, very long podcast.
Yeah. And we're gonna discuss it next week.
Go
watch Die Hard. Come back to us next week. 8 p.m. UK, 3 p.m. Eastern, and 12 p.m. on Pacific side every Saturday, apart from the Saturday that Oh My Feelings needs to go. With those damned Christian holidays. All right. We will
Dumb
see
family.
you all.
Sorry.
We will see you all lovely people in the chat next week. Till then, boys and girls, have a great weekend.
See you soon.